Deirdre is a special child Holy God sent us because he loves us so much, and he knows he can trust us to look after her. He picked us out of hundreds of families, and it took him ages to make up his mind because God is very fussy about who gets the special children. Deirdre is the eldest. She's 1 year older than Jeannie, 3 years older than Tatty, 4.5 years older than Brian, and a whole 7 years older than Lukey. But even though she's the eldest, she can never be in charge because she doesn't understand. Deirdre used to screech for all sorts of reasons, like when she was too hungry to feed herself. Then Mam had to feed her instead, with 2 spoons, so there was always one in her mouth and always one on the way. She screeched when she was too tired, or when she wanted something she couldn't have, banging her toys on the floor, kicking her legs in the air. And when she was afraid of things, black flappy things, Batman on the telly, crows in the back garden, town when it was all rainy and she saw the black umbrellas pass over her head, or the big tall nun at the bus stop who bent over her go-car and said, "God bless the beautiful child." Now when she screeches, it's because she just feels like having a screechy day. When Deirdre dribbles, she gets a sore rash that creeps down her chin and all over her neck. Then you have to cover the rash up with Lazarus cream. And for a while, she looks like Dad when he's having a shave. But then the dribbles run down her chin and wash the Lazarus away, and you can see the sore rash again. Her dribbles come out on long silver strings, and then they destroy her clothes. The tops of her jumpers are always scratchy. The collar of her coat is hard and dark. The buttonholes are stiff, so you have to push and push to make the buttons do what they're told. Mum doesn't like Deirdre to wear bibs anymore because she's too big now and people might laugh at her. So that means Mum has to try catch the dribbles before they fall out of her mouth. When Mum opens her handbag, hundreds of hankies come tumbling out. And when she takes off her coat, they pop out of her sleeves. Mum is quick with the hankies, but sometimes she's not quick enough. If she can't find a hanky in time, she stretches over and breaks the dribbly string with her fingers. Sometimes Deirdre has fits that make her fly across the room. Once, she nearly knocked Tatty into the fire because there was no guard in front of it, and Tatty jumped in the way to stop her from falling in. Tatty's skirt got singed and her face turned white. Her mouth went all wobbly. She looked like she was only after getting out of the bath. But it was Tatty's own fault because she was the one who took the fire guard away, and she was the one who threw sugar on the fire to make it go whoosh up the chimney. When Deirdre has one of her fits, her body goes mad bouncy and her eyes turn back to front. Then you have to shout for Mam, and Mam says, "Oh Jesus, oh Christ," and comes running into the room with a spoon. She puts the spoon into Deirdre's mouth so she won't bite her tongue off. She puts her other hand under Deirdre's head to stop her from cracking it off the floor. She waits for Deirdre's arms and legs to stop bashing around. Deirdre gets jacked out after a fit. Mam wraps her up in her blanket and holds her on her lap. She whispers, "Shh, shh, shh, my little lamb. Shh, shh, shh." Then Deirdre goes for her little sleep. She's too tall for her age, but she didn't know how to walk until Dad showed her. She wore nappies until she was 5. Mum had to make the nappies herself out of toweling stuff you buy in Arnott's because her bum was too big for the nappies you buy for little babies. Everyone says it's an awful pity about Deirdre because she has such a beautiful face. Then they say Mam is a saint. Nobody ever says Dad is a saint, even though he was the one who got her out of nappies, and he was the one who showed her how to walk and then showed her how to turn all the funny noises she makes into words. He stands at the far wall and says, "Are you ready?" He goes down on his hunkers and says, "Are you steady?" He puts his arms out to her and he goes, "Are you ready? Are you steady? Look into my eyes, only into my eyes. 1, 2, 3, and charge, Deirdre, charge!" And she looks like she's swimming in the cold, cold sea with her arms flapping all over the place, feet going too fast for her body, blinking eyes popping out of her head, breath all sharp and afraid. The first time she ever walks without falling, Mam starts crying. Dad pats Deirdre on the head and said, "There's my good girl. My good, brave girl." And his eyes are all sad and damp, when they should be happy and dry. My good girl. My good, brave girl. Then he makes her do it again. When Deirdre hears Dad's car coming, she crawls into her top secret place behind the sofa. But he always finds her and makes her practice and practice and practice until one day she gets it right. The first word she ever said was the bald F off. Dad didn't teach her the bald F off on purpose. She just picked it up by herself. She couldn't really say it properly, but you could still tell what she meant by the way she put all the sounds together and by the cross little face in her when she pushed the sounds out of her mouth. Foot-aw. If you said a bald word, Dad would give out to you. He'd say, "Where did you hear that dirty, filthy word?" And then you'd have to say, "I don't know, Dad," even though you know you heard it off him in the car. But when Deirdre said the big F off, Dad didn't give out to her. Dad gave her a hug and a big swing up to the ceiling.